morning, learners. Welcome back from spring break. It's good to see you all. Okay, well, be able to talk to you all. Okay, we're going to work on lesson 29 this week. We are going to explore working with mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. So if we look at this pencil, the mass is the amount of matter that is in this pencil. Previously, you learned about measuring liquid volume. You can also measure an object's mass. Use what you know to try to solve the problem below. Okay, let's go ahead and do our 3-read. The paperclip measures about 1 gram on a scale. How could you estimate the mass of the pencil? How could you use paperclips to measure the mass of the pencil? What's this problem about? That's right, it's about paper clips and a pencil. And what is this object here? This is a balance. A balance is used to check the mass of an object. So to measure the mass of an object. So if I were to put one object on this side, it would sink down. If I would put a mass of an object on this side, then it would pull down, or it would start to balance. If I have the same mass on both sides, then this will be level. In other words, it will balance. So we can kind of put an equal sign here. And we can check it. If I have the same mass on both sides, then this will balance and they will be equal. If one side has more mass and one side has less, then it will not be equal. So we can use our balance to check to see if the two sides are equal. Okay, let's go ahead and read it again. The paperclip measures about 1 gram on a scale. 1 gram. Okay, so a paperclip is 1 gram. That's something important here. So I know that this paperclip is 1 gram. Let's go ahead and label our picture. Let's look at the next part. How could you estimate the mass of the pencil? How could you use paper clips to measure the mass of the pencil? Okay, so if I know that one paper clip is 1 gram, what do I need to find out? What is this problem asking me? This problem is asking me, what is the mass of this pencil? If I know the mass of the paperclip is 1 gram, what is the mass of the pencil? What could we do? I want you to plan for a minute and think about, what are you going to do to try to solve this? As I read it, I want you to plan. How are you going to figure out the mass of this pencil? The paperclip measures about 1 gram on a scale. How could you estimate the mass of the pencil? How could you use paper clips to measure the mass of the pencil? Okay, now what I want you to do is go to the Try It, pause the video, and tell me, how would you figure out the mass of this pencil? Okay, now that you're back, let's look at some ways that you can measure the mass of the pencil. First of all, I could put a pencil in one hand and a paper clip in the other hand. Then add paper clips until they feel the same. So I can put the pencil here and I have some paper clips. I could measure, do they feel the same? No, the paper clip is going to be lighter. Maybe I need to do 2 paper clips. Maybe I need to do 3 paper clips. So I can check the mass of the pencil by using my paper clips and seeing if they both feel the same. What's a second way we could do this? A second way is to use the scale. I wish we were in my math lab because I have a lot of these scales and we could have used them to figure out the mass of the pencil. But now we just get to use the picture. So we're going to use the scale. You would place the pencil on one side. So we could set it on top of the balance, the scale. And then we would add paper clips to the second side until they were equal. Remember, I said if you have the same mass on both sides, then this will balance and both sides will be equal. So that's two ways that you could measure the mass of the pencil, that we could kind of estimate how many paper clips are the same as a pencil. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the paper over. Now, on the back, let's look at connect it. Look back. Explain how you could estimate and measure the mass of the pencil. Okay, if you don't have something from the other side, then please tell me right here how you could figure out the mass of this pencil. If you need to, pause the video and come back when you're done. Okay, if you come back, you can use either one of these as an answer for the look back. If you need to pause and copy, go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go to number 2. Look ahead. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Oh, that's important. I'm going to highlight that, circle it, box it, something. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. One way to find an object's mass is to see how heavy it is. We're going to measure how heavy it is. You can use the masses of known objects to estimate. Remember, estimate means to make a good guess. That is a good guess. You can use the masses of known objects to estimate other masses. You can use a balance scale to measure mass. So we have a couple of ways to measure mass. We can look at how heavy it is, we can estimate, or we can use a balance scale. So to help you with this, we need to know the weights of things, or the mass of objects. The mass of a paperclip is about 1 gram. Sometimes you'll see it as 1 G. It can be abbreviated. Instead of writing the whole word gram, we can just write a G. The mass of a large hardcover book is about 1 kilogram. Kilo means 1,000. So if I had 1,000 paper clips, it would be the same as a hardback book. So 1 kilogram, and you might see this as 1 kilogram. So I actually do have a book that's 1 kilogram. It's heavy. In fact, it barely fits on my screen. My college physics book. That is 1 kilogram. Okay. Now, if we know that a paper clip is 1 gram and a hardcover book is 1 kilogram, let's look at A and B. A wooden baseball bat and a rubber band are shown. Circle the one that has a mass of about 1 gram. Put a box around the one that has a mass of 1 kilogram. Okay, so we're going to circle the one that looks like 1 gram, and we're going to put a box around the one that looks like a kilogram. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Our baseball bat. Is that going to be about the same weight as my paper clip? Or is it going to be the same weight as my book? You're right. It's going to be about the same as the hardcover book. So 1 kilogram has a box around it. So let's go ahead and box our bat. That should be about 1 kilogram. How about the rubber band? Is that the same as about a paper clip or my big heavy book? You're right. It's about 1 gram. And since we're supposed to circle the gram, let's go ahead and circle the rubber band. Okay, in B, 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. Remember, kilo means 1,000. So, kilogram is 1,000 grams. So, an object with a mass of 1 kilogram is about as heavy as how many paper clips? You're right, 1,000 paper clips. That's a lot of paper clips. Okay, number 3, reflect. Elena's brother says the family dog has a mass of 30 grams. Elena says the dog has a mass of 30 kilograms. Who do you think is correct? Why do you think so? There was a lot of information. I think I need to read that again. Let's see. Elena's brother says the family dog has a mass of 30 grams. Okay, think about 30 grams. 30 grams would be how many paper clips? It'd be about 30 paper clips. Elena says the dog has a mass of 30 kilograms. Okay, so 30 maybe books. Okay, think about that. Would the family dog be the weight of 30 pencils, or sorry, not pencils, paper clips, or 30 books? Who do you think is correct? Think about it for a minute. Who's correct, the brother or Elena? And why do you think so? Pause the video and tell me what you think. Okay, now that you're back, I would say, well, let's look at this. First of all, I counted out 30 paper clips. Here's 30 paper clips. Could a dog possibly weigh 30 paper clips? I don't think there's a dog that small in the world. So in this case, Elena's brother is not correct because this is 30 grams right here. And we know that puppies are, or even the smallest puppy is going to be larger than that. So that means that Elena is correct. And go ahead and tell me why you think Elena is correct. There's lots of reasons why she is. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next page. On our next page, we just want to make sure you understand the vocabulary of what we're working on. Prepare for working with mass. Think about what you know about measurement. Fill in each box. Use words, numbers, and pictures. Show as many ideas as you can. Now, if you'd like to do this on your own, go ahead and pause the video and fill out what you can on your own. Then come back and fix anything that you need to fix. Okay, mass. Everyone say mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. If you don't have that, go ahead and fill that in. One way we can look at mass is by using a balance scale. Notice that I have the mass of a big object here, and I have the mass of two smaller objects. And I can compare their mass and see if they are equal or not using a balance scale. Okay, our next word is gram. Gram is part of the metric system. A gram is a unit of mass used to measure. Remember that 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. A gram is about the size of a paper clip. I even drew a paper clip. Our other second word is kilogram. A kilogram is also part of the metric system. It is part of the system that we use to measure mass. So a kilogram is a unit of mass used to measure. And remember, 1 kilogram, and this is another way to write kilogram, kg. 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. Remember, G stands for grams. If I were to look at an object that weighs a kilogram is a large hardcover book. So I drew a book. If you have not filled everything in, go ahead and pause the video and fill in the information. Okay, number 2. A stick of chewing gum and a kitten are shown. Circle the one that has a mass of about 1 gram. Circle the one that has a mass of about 1 gram. So we're going to circle the one that's 1 gram. Put a box around the one that has a mass of about 1 kilogram. Okay, let's read that. Put a box around the one that has a mass of about 1 kilogram. Okay, let's look at what we have here. We have a stick of chewing gum. Is that about 1 gram or 1 kilogram? Is that about the size of, or the mass of a paper clip, or about the mass of my book? Okay, yes, it is about 1 gram, so we're going to circle it. What about our cat? Our cat here, is that about the same as 1 paper clip, or is it about the same as a book? The kitten will be about the same as a book. And since 1 kilogram, we need to box it. Okay, nice job. Go ahead and turn the paper over. Okay, on the back, this one you're going to do on your own, but let's go ahead and read it before you get started. Solve the problem, show your work. The paperclip measures about 1 gram on a scale. Oh, I remember that, 1 gram, right? 1 gram, our paperclips, 1 gram. How could you use the estimate, or how could you estimate the mass of the paintbrush? Ooh, what's different? Last time we looked at a pencil, and now we're going to look at a paintbrush. How could you use paper clips to measure the mass of the paintbrush? So I want you to think back to what we did on our very first problem. What were the things that we looked at so that we could measure the mass of our pencil? Now you are going to use a similar idea to find the mass of the paintbrush. You can draw pictures and you can write the words. Go ahead and find a way that you are going to measure the mass of the paintbrush. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video while you do your work. Okay, now that you're back, you could have drawn a scale, right? I'm just going to kind of draw a scale like this. Oops. I'm going to put my circles up here. And we can put paper clips on this side. And we can lay the paintbrush on this side, right? And I would just add paper clips to my scale until I got to the same mass as my paintbrush. So that's one way, as I could find the balance between the number of paper clips and the paintbrush. Remember, the second way is to use our hands. We could have used our hands, right? 2, 3, 4. I'm just drawing my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We can put the paintbrush in one hand. And we can put paper clips in the other hand until I find a similar weight. Now go ahead and use your words and explain how you did that here. Nice job. I will see you tomorrow with session 2.